seeking inner light. Life's puzzles. At 11:53 a.m., amidst the routine of another day, I found myself wandering the room, lost in introspection. It struck me then, in moments of ample time for contemplation, do we invariably dwell on our faults and shortcomings? Do we scrutinize ourselves relentlessly, fixating on the myriads of issues that demand resolution? It's another piece of the perplexing cycle, or just another face of it. One that often spirals us into self-criticism and doubt. A paradoxical dance between introspection and despair. Amidst the monotony of existence for those who feel lost and stuck, one can't help but ponder the essence of life itself, questioning the elusive concept of faith and the purpose it serves. Have faith is something I've heard, raised in a household where Christianity was ingrained culturally, and churches I would visit as part of it. Throughout life, I've always grappled with faith. Not as a fervent believer, but as one who whispered prayers in moments of desperation, as if by rote. A true scoundrel, without noticing it, I had turned God into a genie, so I would not be surprised if those prayers fell on deaf ears. It's ironic how, when things go awry, we instinctively seek scapegoats, unwilling to confront our shortcomings, preferring to lay blame elsewhere. Yet, in our audacity lies a profound truth, a truth that transcends the superficialities of religion and ideology, reminding us that the answers we seek ultimately lies within ourselves. Shadows of doubt. Our days assail us with oddities, leaving us questioning, blaming, even cursing God, regardless of the one you serve, be it science or yourself, where you end up asking why. Why do I feel forsaken? Why do our prayers seem unanswered? Yet deep down, we know the truth. We've long abandoned the solace of prayers, of God, letting doubt corrode our faith, turning inwards, consumed by our own struggles and desires. In this self-absorption, we become blinded to the world around us, clinging stubbornly to our biases and prejudice. It's no wonder then that we perceive divine silence as indifference, as the devil sneers at our plight. Yet in our desperation, we often wrongly attribute our misfortunes to external forces, deflecting responsibility regardless of whether, as we seek solace in religious rhetoric or indulgences. It's a cycle of disillusionment, a tragic dance of fate and doubt, leaving us isolated and vulnerable as our cries fall to the abyss way before they ever reach the divine, while the demonic or our shadows glisten in it. The abyss of doubt. Amidst the murky depths of negative thoughts, there exist fleeting moments like pockets of light breaking through dense clouds, or like air bubbles within the water, where we momentarily tire of casting blame outwards. In these brief interludes, we catch a glimpse, not merely with our eyes, but with a deeper knowing, a sense that there's a fracture within us, in the soul and our consciousness, a shadowy presence pointing to something broken, something we intimately recognize but desperately shy away from and push away. It's the weight of our chains, those unseen shackles that binds us, whether in body or mind, like a spirited young dog tethered to a post. We've strained against these chains, yearning to break free, to run wild and untamed. Yet, with each passing trial and tribulations, we become like the beaten down dog, resigned to our fate, reluctantly nudging against our bonds, occasionally voicing our discontent, but ultimately retreating to our corner, resigned to our lot. The weight of mental chains. Here, the term chains not only encapsulate physical restraints or tangible fears, but also the intangible, deeply ingrained ideologies, beliefs about ourselves that hold sway over our minds and hearts. These mental constructs can be as potent as any physical barrier, rooted so deeply within us like an accursed tree that they feel more like an impenetrable fortress than a mere thorn in our sides. Often the question arises, why can't we simply break free from these mental chains, overcome these inner demons that seem to dictate our every move? What sweet words those are. But words are just words, saying it might help you temporarily, but it's a struggle familiar to all, yet one that not everyone comprehends. Some may empathize with our plight, while others remain indifferent or even antagonistic. The truth is, each of us plays dual roles in our own narrative. We are both the hero and the villain, navigating the complex interplay of good and evil within our souls. Amidst this dichotomy lies our morality, our essence, often obscured by the discordant mix of external projection and internal struggles. I'll say this again as a reminder to myself. Sometimes the answer we seek are right before our eyes, obscured only by our own preconceptions and biases. In our darkest moment, we may find ourselves too preoccupied with despair to recognize the glimmer of hope shining through, too fixated on the shadow to appreciate the light. Yet, it's in acknowledging both the light and the darkness within us that we begin to unravel the intricacies of our own existence, discovering the profound truth that lies at the bottom of our hearts and our being. Embracing the shadows. In the pursuit of solace, validation, and a sense of ease, we often turn to the source we believe will offer comfort, even if they dwell in darkness rather than in the light. Why not seek the light, where those unsettling truth resides? The truth is, when we dare to step into the light, seeking what we yearn for, we often find a revealing harsh truths that we'd rather not face. Faced with these uncomfortable realities, many of us choose to retreat, running away from the light instead of confronting what it illuminates. While it's possible to catch glimpses of what we seek amidst the light, obtaining them is seldom easy, constituting a sorrowful narrative of longing and disappointment, so we cling to the comforting cloak of darkness, wrapping ourselves in its embrace, unwilling to face the truths that the light reveals. The loneliness of disconnection. There are those surrounding us, people who vacillate between acknowledging our presence and disregarding us entirely, viewing us as little more than aimless wanderers, devoid of purpose or soul. Even when called upon, we may remain silent, further alienating ourselves until our very existence becomes inconsequential. This is the plight of a man who has lost faith, both in the world around him and in himself, resigned to traverse a desolate path alone. Each step he takes seems to reaffirm his condemnation, his destiny sealed by his own inertia. He is akin to a wanderer in the desert, perpetually seeking an oasis that proves elusive. Each mirage, a cruel deception that leaves him parched and disillusioned, yet he persists, clinging to hope that one day he will find the inner peace he so desperately craves. And to those who would label him a fraud or a charlatan, he posed a simple question: what more must he do to prove his sincerity? He has followed the prescribed paths, he held his tongue and abided by societal expectations, yet he still finds himself adrift in a sea of uncertainty.